Good evening, dear guests of today's meeting. Please give me some feedback, whether you can see and hear me. Let's check the technical component of our meeting. And while you are giving me your feedback, let me remind you that our meeting is held in three languages, English, Russian, and Hindi, and every participant can choose their own language. You can do that by going to the bottom of your screen. There is like a control panel for Zoom, and you go for the globe sign, and there you can choose the language that you prefer. If you haven't done it yet, please do it. I can see that you're confirming that the connection is good, that you can see and hear me. Hello, everyone. Mohammed says clear voice. That's, if I understand correctly, it means that everything is okay. And then we have Ramesh Patel. Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Today is the last day of summer. Congratulations. The summer of 2024 flew by very quickly. There were a lot of events related to the project that we are involved in. And I'm sure for many of you, this summer was a pleasant one. I'm sure there were a lot of significant events for you, probably like vacation with your family, probably new achievements, traveling, something positive, something that gave you more energy to move on to the autumn season, to get ready for the weather to become colder. But I think that every season has its own beauties, its own advantages. And as they say, weather or nature does not have bad weather. And for me personally, this summer turned out to be quite hot, and you can see the climate is changing and you can feel it. But it's okay, nothing really tragic happened. But as for our activities, we've started the summer of 2024 quite actively, and our meetings, our regular broadcasts are yet another proof to that. So I can again repeat that the summer of 2024 was quite active. And today, on Saturday, on the 31st of August, we're having our regular presentation of our project, which is a twofold. First is a promotion of the string transportation technology in the transportation sector. And the second fold is the crowdfunding, which is the model with which this technology is funded. And today, on the 31st of August, it's 6:15 p.m. CET. We are going to have yet another presentation at the end of the summer on the eve of autumn. Dear friends, please tell me what cities and countries, regions you are from. In the chat, please tell me the geography. It would be quite pleasant for me to see how extensive our geography is, considering that we're having this meeting in at least 3 languages. So I see India, Novosibirsk, which is Russia. I guess it's quite chilly there compared to southern regions. We have Dubai, Slavgorod, Russia. We see Vardha, Maharashtra, India. Pavan Narang says Jammu and Kashmir. Bharat, I guess it's India as well. So we have Kazakhstan here, West Bengal, Alipur, Vardha, India, from Suraj, Punjab, India. Well, that's really, really great. I'm very glad that we have quite an extensive, large geography, and as I can judge from your answers, I can see a lot of regulars here. We have active investors into this string transportation technology. And I would dare ask you a question. Do we have here people who do not know what we're going to talk about? Or to better put it, do we have guests here that will hear for the first time about such technology as string transportation and about the investment crowdfunding? So that's how I would like to put it in order to have it easier. Those of you who are already on the same page and know about it, don't give me any answer, either yes or no. But those who are newcomers, for whom this is going to be a completely new topic, give me a yes, please. So judging from the absence of your answers, I guess everyone here is an active investor. Okay, then. Then we're not going to change the format of our meeting. It's still going to be a presentation, but probably we will focus more on other things, on the achievements and results achieved by the company that we fund or support using crowdfunding. And the reason why we don't have a lot of new people at our meetings is because I guess we need to change our marketing approach. And that's what we're doing. And just give me a second, I will have your latest comments translated in Google Translate. Let's see what did they say. So I see questions about the listing and other questions. But let me tell you right away, today we're having a presentation, not a Q&A meeting. And by the way, Pavan, it was you who asked this question. Please watch our Q&A recordings that I had on the 22nd of August and the last meeting. There was quite detailed information about dividends, monetization, and capitalization of our investments. So I urge you to watch that meeting. It is both in English and Hindi on our official RSW Systems YouTube, and that's where all the official information is and is delivered. Okay, where was I? Starting September, we're going to change the format of our work. We're going to dive into preparation to the transition to a new updated platform that I mentioned on several occasions, and that is being worked on. And the meetings that will start in September, in the first half of September, every person needs to be there who would like to be or who positions themselves as the active investor in the string transportation technology and as an active client of RSW Systems. There will be a separate announcement, and that's where you will get some specific information and the step-by-step guidelines, what kind of actions you need to take on our platform in order to ensure that your transition from the old platform to the new platform is as smooth as possible. It is all related to the rebranding that we announced in December 2023, even November 2023. That's where we laid the course for the results that we were supposed to achieve in 2024. And we gradually moving along that course and implementing the objectives that we set before ourselves. We can start. Today, I'm going to make quite a short presentation, and I will start from the elementary things, from introducing myself My name is Maxim Isyp. I'm 38 years old. I've been an active investor into the string transportation technology since 2014. And from that year, I've been actively promoting the crowdfunding activities. That is also an innovative financial instrument intended to help implement the venture project, the venture technology that is called Unitsky's string transportation. But we will have a separate part dedicated to the string transportation technology and the crowdfunding and its role in the development of the technology that we're going to talk about during this particular meeting. But before we start speaking about details, I would like to give you some introductory information that everybody needs to know. It's some general information. And before I start commenting, I would like to ask you a question. To what extent do you think our life has changed over the last 150, 200 years? And if it did change, in what areas? Probably you've been following the innovations, probably you analyzed it yourself. For example, probably you've noticed that in the recent 30 years, our lives have changed drastically thanks to this or that technology, or this particular area of our life has changed. Please tell me what, according to your observations, has changed over the last 50, 100, 150 years, and whether it was for the better or for the worse. I'm waiting for your replies in the chat. Those of you who are regulars at my meetings, you know that I enjoy interactivity, having a dialogue. It is better than just having a monologue and see only myself on the screen and hear only my own voice. Verika, hello, you too. Sergei Rusyanovsky says that our life has changed drastically, but in what areas did it change? Gregory wrote that old like transportation sectors are being upgraded, but nothing really innovative has been invented, like, for example, subway. And Evgeny says ICT, information communication technologies, have changed. I agree with you. If we go and analyze the recent decades or even the last 100 years, we will see that the development of the information technology indeed changed our way of life. It changed our style of lifestyle. It changed the way we perform our everyday tasks. For example, the advancement of the information communication technologies has allowed us to have a meeting like this when we are thousands of kilometers apart, yet we are able to talk and see each other live. So you can see my video, hear my voice, and the data is transferred in a split of a second. So we can make a conclusion that the information technologies allowed people to be more mobile in terms of data transfer. Just 30, 40 years ago, when we didn't have like mobile phones, people used landlines, and sometimes you even had to place an order for a toll call, ahead of time. For example, in my country, I had to go to a post office and place an order for a international call, and then you had to be there at a certain time, at a certain place, in order for people from different places, from different points on the planet to be able to talk to each other. Now it's way simpler, and it indeed facilitated our life, made it easier. In other words, information technologies increased our mobility. In what other areas are we observing changes? Alexander says in over 150 years, we have now airplanes, aviation, cars. We sent men into the outer space. The internet transformed the progress. And Grigorius says that quantum computers are not very far away. This is the next leap in our development. Yes, indeed. There are already quantum computers out there, if I'm not mistaken, but they're not yet deployed on a large scale. It all means that information technology, they are advancing even more, computers getting better and better, and now AI has made a major breakthrough, which plays a major role in that area as well. So if we read again what Alexander said, that now we have cars, aviation, we send men into the outer space, internet. Well, in other words, all of it, again, those innovations allowed us to be more mobile in the contemporary world. But unfortunately, such sectors as aviation, car manufacturing, and railway, if we take the purely transportation sectors, then those technologies were developed like 100 years ago, 150 years ago, and then they haven't experienced any major innovations at all. It's not an innovation, it's an upgrading, it's modernization, because innovation is when you get a technology that hasn't been there before, which is radically different from everything that we had before. This is like innovation explained in simple terms. And modernization or upgrading is just improvement of what has already been invented before, like a car, for example. Like car, originally, as it was designed to be on four wheels with either like internal combustion engine or steam engine, doesn't matter. We still have the same body on four wheels, probably with inbuilt computer now, and instead of burning gas, it goes on battery, but still, the principle is the same. It's not an innovation. And the same applies to railroad, because after all, it's tracks, rails, and rolling stock going on top of those rails. Nothing changed. Of course, trains have become more comfortable. Now we have like a magnetic cushion railway, and they can move at a very high speed. But again, this is not an innovation per se. It's more like an upgrading. And if we talk about the transportation of people and cargo, there haven't been any innovation in that sector. And in 2014, the international community saw that the information that there had been a person who for dozens of years was talking about such an innovation, a new type of transportation. And that type of transportation could change drastically the transportation logistics complex, make it safer, make it more environmental, make that sector more comfortable, cozy, and mobile, because the current society demands mobility. Because every single human being on that planet would like to be mobile. We want to have our money transferred quickly. which is done right now using electronic and digital currencies. So you can transfer money very quickly. The information is transferred very quickly, but people did not really started moving quicker than it was 150 years ago. The planes are flying like with the same speed as they used to fly like 50 years ago. The transportation of cargo by rail hasn't changed. If you know, probably the average speed of the cargo transportation on by rail is around 1720 kilometers per hour. So in terms of the cargo movement, everything has stayed the same. And in 2014, through the internet and YouTube, the global community learned about the existence of a very promising and a genius, Dr. Yunitsky, who declared that he was ready to show to the world innovations in the transportation technology that will completely change the perception of passenger and cargo transportation, and also will affect other walks of life, because transportation affects a lot other areas of life of man, like economy and others. And the technology that I'm talking about here is a sector-forming technology, because if something new, innovative comes up, then it causes the expansion and advancement of other areas of human life, like economy, different industrial sectors, and also it affects everyday's life. And this technology is called Yunitsky's string transportation. So what does it look like? It can be easily seen if we take a look at the video presentation. In order, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So to prove that, let me start sharing my screen, and together we will take a look how that technology looks like that I was talking about.
Business success depends on how effective are the solutions offered by a company. This formula became the starting point when in 2015, we turned the first page of the Yunitsky String Technologies Incorporated's history. To create optimal transport, the best of all things possible. We've been working on this for many years, set ourselves only the highest bars, wanted to give customers the perfect tool to achieve their goals. Today, we are ready for any task. The path traversed by Yunitsky String Technologies Incorporated is an experience of difficult victories that have tempered our team. Today, the company has more than 60 design bureaus, a 9-story office building, and more than 1,000 specialists. Our profession is the development, design, and operation of UST complexes. There are schools in engineering and construction of transport and infrastructure that were formed. The company has a full set of confirmed competencies and is accredited as a scientific organization by the National Academy of Sciences. Constant development, high standards, and the most modern technical equipment. This is the style we adhere to. In order to guarantee the best quality, we strive to monitor our developments from the first sketch to implementation. Our production center is part of a single chain of creativity, design, component manufacturing, final assembly, and testing. 20 workshops, 4,000 square meters, and more than 200 professionals. High-precision machines with numerical control. The ability to quickly reconfigure and optimize production of the most complex elements in the shortest possible time. We independently manufacture motor wheels, bodies, and frames of our U-Pods, automation and safety systems, energy storage, and electric motor. To achieve the result, we have built several special certification complexes. different types of roads and different models of transport, 2 types of climatic conditions, about 60 hectares of test and demonstration areas in Belarus and the UAE, own laboratories, energy and infrastructure facilities, service centers, control rooms, automated control systems. At these sites, we carefully test our solutions to ensure their effectiveness, reliability, comfort, and safety. All UST solutions are designed, manufactured, and operated in accordance with international standards. As proof of this, in 2021, we, for the first time, received a certificate of conformity from TÜV-SW, the world's leading organization in the field of safety and quality. Not stopping there, Unitsky String Technologies Incorporated is constantly improving its products. We know that business success depends on effectiveness of the proposed solutions, based on the best that came before us. Without trying to imitate anyone who is nearby, we create optimal transport complexes as good as they can be.
Dear friends, I wanted to ask you this question, and Alexander already gave a comment related to that question. So I wanted to ask you, what you've just seen from the video is an already implemented, realized technology by Unitsky String Technology in the form of a prototype sample, but every single rolling stock and the tracks that you've just seen, they are all certified, and they can now be implemented in the form of commercial projects in different countries and regions. And what you've just seen, in your opinion, what advantages does it have against other types of transportation that we've discussed today, like cars, trains, and other types of transportation that you know? In your opinion, what kind of advantages have you seen, and what is innovative in what you've seen? Please share your opinion. Anti-stress. Well, probably because that transportation moves over the ground and people won't have to be stuck in traffic jams and avoid stress situations that Verika mentioned. What else, dear friends? What other advantages have you seen, or what is innovative in that transportation according to your opinion? Noise-free or noiseless, environmentally friendly, safe, economical, or cost-effective, effectiveness in general. Lal said, we can have a great view while traveling. Quite an interesting comment, remark, or better, statement of facts. Thank you very much for that comment. Indeed, you can ride the string transportation technology and take in the picturesque landscape without impacting harmfully the nature. And what Alexander wrote are indeed the main advantages of the string transportation technology, which is environmentally friendly, safe, cost-effective, and efficient. And most interestingly and importantly, that I wanted to point out, everything that you've just seen on the video, again, is an absolutely new type of transportation. It's not a monorail or a cable car. It's not a railroad at an elevated level. No, it's a new type of transportation. It's a string transportation. Unitsky's string transportation, because the author of this technology is Dr. Unitsky and the developer and designer. So what is indicative here is that this technology has indeed been implemented, and implemented in quite a short period of time, because the implementation of any technology requires quite a lot of time to be implemented. So let me give you an example of the car industry that we're all familiar with. Before any car manufacturer issues a new model of their car, like BMW, Audi, or Mercedes, Ford, before they produce a new model of a car, it takes them like 4 to 6 years before the first car is issued from the conveyor belt, because it entails quite a large scope of work, like design, testing of the car as a whole and individual components in the car, braking system, then the drive part, the safety system, the engine cooling system, all the systems and units that you can find in a car. So unibuses that you saw in the video has also hundreds of different subsystems and units and components that are assembled together into one piece that is called Unitsky's string transportation. Also, it includes the track infrastructure, the rolling stock, and the rolling stocks have dozens and hundreds of different components that all together make this transportation type. And every type of the string transportation is on par with the creation, not just a new car, but I would compare it to the creation of a new airplane, because it is indeed a very innovative and large scope product that was created in a relatively short period of time. So what you've seen today has been achieved in a very short period of time, literally in the last 8 to 9 years. From 2015, that's where the engineering company started its operations in Belarus first, and then they expanded to the United Arab Emirates, and now they are trying to conquer the American market to showcase their high-speed technology there, because two main types of transportation have already been showcased by the company and certified, and now they are going into the market with a lot of orders for the implementation of that technology, introduction of that technology. So the company already has two products, which is urban passenger and cargo transportation, and high-speed transportation is still on the horizon. So what I would like to emphasize here is that I think every one of you understands that in order to implement such a large-scale project, you need a lot of investments to create it. But if we take any technologies that we mentioned before, like car manufacturing, IT technology, financial innovations, and everything associated with it, in most cases, those technologies were born thanks to private investments and big investors who either became partners, co-owners, owners of the technology, or acquired equity in the company itself. This way or another, it meant that the author of the technology did not always could have their way. And the situation with Steve Jobs is quite indicative here. You all know the former Apple CEO, and the fact that a big investor came into the company led to Steve Jobs being fired from the board of directors. So it's like a kind of a paradox. He was the founder, he created the company, but eventually he was fired just because his company was taken over. And in order to avoid that, Dr. Inytsky back in 2014 offered the global community an alternative way of funding this technology. And as I said, the project required quite a lot of funds in order to set up the engineering team. As you could have seen from the video, it's 1,000 people strong team. They needed to have the production facilities to install modern machinery and equipment, and then launch the production. And in the 80% of cases, the company is using their own materials produced by UST, and it's as independent as possible from other risk factors where a vendor could depend on a large number of suppliers. And in order to do it all, funds were required, but funds were raised using crowdfunding model, where a lot of people through micro investments, microfinance, were able to support this project. And as I said, it was launched in 2014. And everything that you saw in the video, dear friends, was done thanks to the funds of hundreds of thousands of people who believed in 2014, 15, 16, 17, just the idea, the blueprints, because back then it was just the stage of a blueprinting or a concept, because there were no confirmation that it would be viable. There were no actual confirmation that it wouldn't be a scam. But now, 10 years later, we can see what kind of results the company achieved in the international market. They have already 2 R&D centers in the area of Eastern Europe and United Arab Emirates. The company now has hundreds of thousands of square meters of production facilities and offices, and a lot of land plots where that technology is showcased and where dozens of rolling stocks were introduced, and infrastructure and track infrastructures. So I don't think there should be any doubts left whether it is a swindle, some kind of a scam or not. And moreover, the company now has the status of an R&D institute, research and development institute, which is quite a rare occasion for a private company to obtain a status of an R&D institute. And UST is such an institute. So those risks that were present at the very start are in the past. You don't have to prove to anything. We don't have to prove anything to anyone. We just need to see who is going to be the first owner of the first commercial, or the client of the first commercial product, and when this technology will be brought into reality. And here I would like also to add that we already have the first commercial product or project implemented. It is close to the Eco Techno Park. It's in a like a resort center called Aquarel, close to the, again, Eco Techno Park. And that's where they're going to use string transportation technology. And it's a resort because they have a picturesque nature. They have like fishing ponds. They have natural reserve. And on that territory, they implemented the first commercial project. Again, this is yet another proof that the technology is viable, and the company already has the first commercial project deployed. And all we have to do is just wait a little longer to see how this technology is going to be rolled out in dozens of other countries and cities. And to prove that, I wanted to show to you how the work on the commercial projects is done right now. So you can see it in a number of videos on the official YouTube channel of Unitsky String Technologies. There is a very good playlist about the work in 2023, starting from the, not starting, you can watch the report for 2023 of the work done, and also you can see how the team works on the implementation of the technology in the commercial area, what kind of stages every commercial project has, and the sheer scale of that work, and how every project is different from each other. And all of it, friends, is given in a number of videos, 7 of them, each of them from 20 to 30, 40 minutes long. So I recommend you watch them, because it will help you understand the scope of the work being done. You will understand the prospects of that technology to be implemented in the near future in different countries, and you will get answers to your own questions on how realistic the returns are that we're going to talk about, and what kind of a scale our returns can have, the capitalization. Also, I wanted to introduce to you the video about Dr. Unitsky. This video is called Following Your Star. It's on the Dr. Unitsky's YouTube channel. It's called Anatoly Unitsky, and it shows a hard journey of an innovator, and shows you the difficulties on the path towards the creation of this technology, because as the history shows us, people who were trying to change this world were not believed at first. Not everyone believed Steve Jobs that every house will have a computer, and not everyone believed Mark Zuckerberg about the necessity and the success of Facebook. And not everyone believed at first Henry Ford when he said that every family, every person will be using a car. And not everyone believed the Wright brothers when they said that an object heavier than air can fly. So the innovator's journey is a very difficult journey, but people with such mindset, with such hard focus on the mission, achieve eventually success and bring their cause to the end. And Dr. Unitsky is a shining example of that. So I would invite you to watch those videos and familiarize with them. This is going to be quite useful for you. It's going to be quite informative, especially to those who don't know or realize yet the scale of it. As for the financial components or the financial prospects, then the financial prospects are quite obvious here, quite apparent. So let's name 5 companies that over the last 50 years have become the most expensive companies in the world. Give me 5 companies, well, plus minus 1. The ranking can change all the time. So tell me the top 5 with approximate value, but not necessarily. So Amazon, Apple, Google, we already have 3, Microsoft, Ford, Tesla. Enough. That's enough. And now let's just try to see what makes all those companies common. What is common among all of them, like Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Tesla? What unites them? What makes them? What do they have in common? Well, I would leave Tesla out, because Tesla is not really an innovative company. It's more like a bubble, in my opinion, because electric engines had been developed long ago in Ukraine, back in 1970s or even 60s. There was a hydrogen engine already developed by Kharkiv scientists. So I wouldn't add Tesla here because it has no innovations whatsoever. They just replaced the internal combustion engine with an electric engine with the same four wheels, polluting the environment. So what makes those companies, what do they have in common? So they are tech companies, Verica says. Alexander says they started from grounds up. Well, all companies start from scratch, even like a bakery. So what else makes those unites those companies? Like Amazon. Let's add here IBM and Apple. And Alexander put it right. He said, innovations. Yes, they created an innovation, something that wasn't there before. For example, Henry Ford, because Ford, yes, we mentioned Ford as well. Henry Ford created a car, an available car that people didn't have before. And still, F-150 model, Ford model, is still the most sold model in the world, if I'm not mistaken. So there hadn't been a car before, upscaled car, and Henry Ford was able to mass produce them. Apple, next, is the first company in the world that created the first home PC. And now we all have like pocket PCs in the form of a smartphone. So all of those things are innovations, and that's what makes those companies the most expensive companies in the world. So it would be quite logical on our side to conclude that when the string transportation technology starts to be scaled up in dozens of countries and regions, and there will be dozens of those projects and hundreds and thousands of those projects, what do you think will be the capitalization of the company Unitsky's string technology that introduced that innovation? What will be the price of the share of the shares of that company? Because we're talking about an innovative company, because it is an innovative. Of course, that question is rhetorical because it is quite logical to conclude here that we're talking about here not just billions of dollars, but dozens of trillions of dollars. I'll explain you why. If we take the Apple company, it is evaluated at trillions of dollars in terms of its capitalization. However, that company does not have actual assets that would cost that much. It's more about the market demand and supply. If we take the string transportation technology, its capitalization will be affected by several factors. And the first of which is the value of the intellectual property, which from the get-go had been evaluated at $400 billion, which is the foundation for the preliminary evaluation, current evaluation of the shares, pre-IPO shares that are being sold. So this is the potential based on the intellectual property evaluation. So the next logical conclusion for us is that technology is going to take the form of metal and concrete, rolling stocks, its track infrastructure, in other words, physical assets. So imagine like dozens of thousands of kilometers of tracks and different facilities, which will add to the overall capitalization, the so-called fixed assets, material assets, and then add here the market demand when the company will list their shares in the public domain. When the company goes public, when it launches its IPO, then it's going to be a completely different story. And I'm deeply believe that UST company, the string transportation company, in the near future, in the near dozens of years, will make it to the top 10 most expensive, valuable companies. And probably for a period, it will be even the most expensive company, the most valuable company in terms of capitalization. Well, some people might call it illusion, fantasies, but 10 years ago, we couldn't even imagine that the technology would be implemented on 2 different continents. There will be dozens of rolling stocks types and dozens of types of tracks. So I personally couldn't imagine that it would be like what we have today. So if we are objective about it, then we can really see the numbers that I've just told you about. So to recap everything that I said, we have now 2 opportunities. Opportunity number 1 is not to miss out on the chance to become co-owner of the string transportation technology that is almost on the verge of going into the global market. So the company has the potential of implementing dozens of commercial projects, which means that the company will be in the near future able to share the profits they will get from their engineering and technical work, which means people who will be investing into this technology today will face way fewer risks compared to people who invested back in 2014, 2015, when there wasn't anything to show for it. So people who will invest today will face way fewer risks. And the second conclusion that we can make, because this technology was implemented using crowdfunding, then it is quite logical that we can use crowdfunding to implement commercial projects in the future. And there is a big chance that it will happen. And since we are at a meeting of a crowdfunding platform that has been developing successfully for more than 10 years, and take into account that we're going to change our compensation plan, our approach to marketing, we will change the rewards, the commissions for our agents pleasantly change. And since we also will be continue supporting the string transportation technology, the existing types and the high-speed type, and those who will decide to join that movement, the crowdfunding community, will have the possibility to build a long-standing career to get like a 3rd, 4th, or 5th, even major specialization and go pro, because on our platform, there will be a free professional training for people who would like, for a period of time or on a constant basis, to work with us to make money from the crowdfunding investment model. So those people who are hearing me out for the first time, you have 2 opportunities to support this technology today and then see how your future goes, because we have a very good discount right now. Or you can also, in addition to being an investor, passive investor, you can become an active investor. So the meetings that we're going to have in the first half of September 2024, we are going to switch to specific announcements and information about our transition to the new platform. So those people will find quite a lot of interesting, useful information during those meetings. So what kind of investment opportunities are out there currently? And just 5 hours are left until the end of that wonderful promotion. And those are opportunities that are once in a lifetime or twice, but not more. So throughout summer, we had run a promotion where our clients were able to receive pre-IPO shares of the company at a very good medium floating discount, which is higher than the current market discount. So the biggest current market discount is 40, and you can get the discount if you invest $50,000. So if a person contributes $50,000, even if they go for installment plan at $5,000 per month, they will get only discount 40. It means that 40 means that it's approximately times 40, x 40 is the number if the times of returns on their investment when the pre-IPO share costs $1. So a person who invested $50,000, they will get 2 million pre-IPO shares. This is the standard market discount. Today, we're having a non-standard discount where you can get up to 77 discount. It's 77 times on your returns on your original investment. So if a person decided to invest $1,000 and they make like 10 payments for 10 months, they will get discount 60. If they decide to pay $250 a month for 10 months, which is $2,500, they will get discount 65. Again, X 65. If they decide to go for the $5,000 package and pay $500 per month, they will get discount 70, which is by 80% higher than the current highest market discount. But this is not it. There is an additional bonus for our clients. If you decide to pay for the package in one go, one-off payment, you will get a 10% bonus on top of your standard package. So here you're going to have a discount 66 and not 60. Here you're going to have 71 and a half. And here you're going to have discount 77 if you decide to pay it in one go, $5,000. And this is still not it. There is one important thing. All the clients of our platform who already purchased installments from September the 1st, 2024 until the 15th of August, 2024, those who bought installment packages, and you have 3 or 5 payments yet to make, if you finish paying those installments by the end of August in the next 5 hours, then you will also get extra 10% on top of your standard package. So if you terminate your installment plan early, you will also get that bonus. So friends, I already mentioned it on numerous occasions this month that we won't have any similar discounts until we have our full transition to the new platform, Micron Global. And this is my promise to you. You don't have to ask me again or request me again. We won't have such discounts at least until the next transition. So you have 5 hours left to make a decision, either to buy a new package or finish paying your installment plan, because the discounts are very, very attractive. Or you can work better with your active network, share the information, share the value of the missed opportunity, because there is nothing more unpleasant, I guess, in this life when people miss out on the opportunity and only then later realize that they missed something important, something valuable. So we have 7 packages left for $5,000, 27 for $2,500, and 47 for $1,000. I will update the page. 726, one package was already sold for $2,500. So 4 hours, 51 minutes left until the end of the promotion. So make the correct decisions. I guess any decision you make will be the right decision for you, for sure. I will try and answer your comments. Let me stop sharing my screen first. But let me tell you once again, do not miss out on the opportunity. Verika wrote a couple of messages. Let me check them, comment on them. We're going to be bigger than Apple and Amazon taken together. I agree. Mr. Unitsky needs money to buy land in the USA for high-speed train. Yes, that too, because that's what we should start with in the United States, from purchasing land. And right now, the feasibility study is being developed for the United States. The funding model for the high-speed transportation is being negotiated. This work is in the active phase. I know it for sure. I can also add here that we should also tell our investors that we will be able to participate in the high-speed transportation as well if the approach to funding changes. Then because the high-speed transportation doesn't yet exist, we cannot claim to have a big share or 100% share in it. But because using the previously raised funds, some of the money was invested into high-speed transportation, like design, prototype, so we will have a proportionate share in it as well. So the money that was raised and invested until the end of 2023 and 2024, then we will have a share in it. Again, it also it depends whether the company will make it a separate project or a continuation of the existing project. We need just to be aware of it, because restructuring, reorganization is a normal thing, and everything that will happen in the engineering team, Dr. Unitsky's company, it will not affect the rights and interests of the current investors. Everything is transparent and open, and we have to prove that we have annual audit reports and performance reports published annually. And if you've been observing closely the development of the company over the last years, you guess realized yourselves that everything is open. And Grigory says that, don't worry, friends, we will not be left aside. For sure, even if we get a small part of it, it will still be quite a lot of money, because the scale in the magnitude of high speed is way bigger than the regular passenger and cargo transportation. So thank you, dear friends. I would like to thank you for giving your time. We worked for 1 hour straight, so you have less than 5 hours left to take advantage of this summer promotion. It was dedicated to the ending summer, and starting September, get ready for active work in relation to the transition to the new platform. It will happen gradually. It will start with a number of announcements, meetings, broadcasts on my side. So I urge you to keep track of the schedule that we're publishing in the Telegram, keep track of the news on our website, subscribe if you haven't done it yet, and be ready for action. So thank you very much, dear friends, for participating in this meeting. And the next meeting will be held in the first half of September. I can't tell you the exact date right now. Just follow the news, because there is a number of things, tasks I need to take care of, on which my availability will depend in September. So I'm not going to give you any specific days right now. Just follow the news and keep in touch. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much for your comments, Verika, Satish, Alexander, Gregory, for your activity. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank the support, the maintenance team as well, our admin team, Ruslan, and our interpreters. So thank you very much, dear friends, and have a nice Saturday evening, the last day of summer. And I would like to congratulate you on the first day of autumn, which will happen tomorrow. In some countries, this is the day of knowledge, the first day of school. So yeah, let's share knowledge. Let's raise our kids, give them good education, and then everything is going to be very good in our life, better than we can even expect. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.